Are you upset that I took your husband because we were having an affair? I'm sorry. Goodbye, old lady. Upon learning of my resignation, Amy, who had taken my husband, said this with a smug look. I was stunned to hear something like this from Amy, and while I was in shock, my colleagues around me started laughing uproariously. My name is Julie. I believe I have led a plain but peaceful life. I worked diligently at the office and was highly regarded, and I was able to marry Nigel, who also works at the same company. Good job. It looks like it was a great success this time. Thank you. It's because you supported me, Julie. You helped me focus. To show my gratitude, I'll cook dinner tonight. Really? Thank you, I'm looking forward to it. My husband, Nigel, a year younger than me, is the star of the PR department and has busy days. Living with him, our newlywed life has been going smoothly without any misunderstandings. Nigel and I share the same values, and I'm really glad we got married. I had no doubt that I would continue to be with my understanding husband. However, things started to get cloudy due to Amy Nozaki, who became my trainee. Excuse me, how should I do this? Haven't I taught you this before? Didn't you take notes? I said it almost accusingly because I had already explained it more than 3 times. I never said you had to take notes, did I? Besides, you told me I could ask you any time if I didn't understand. Perhaps it's because she's 12 years younger, but there are so many things about Amy that I just don't understand. Is it a generational gap, maybe? But it really is a problem when she doesn't take her job seriously. Amy's inability to learn her job started to trouble me. I wonder if I'm not cut out to be a teacher. I don't feel like I can teach properly. You're doing fine, Julie. It's probably just a matter of compatibility, so don't be too hard on yourself. When I discussed this with Tammy Nakamura, who had trained me when I was new, she encouraged me. She'll understand eventually. That's what I thought, and I kept teaching without giving up, but I guess I'm just not cut out for this job. I'd rather find a well-paid partner and get married. Amy was still not very enthusiastic about her work. When I pointed it out, she sighed like it was her catchphrase. It seems I'm not suited for this. I want to marry someone rich soon. Since she doesn't seem to want to learn, I find myself teaching the same things over and over. It would be better if there were at least some willingness, even if she can't do it. Amy's approach to work was frustrating. Moreover, she was excessively charming and flirtatious towards men. Julie, you should teach more gently. It's too harsh, even if Amy is young. She was crying because she couldn't understand what you were teaching. I am teaching gently. But no matter how many times I teach her, she keeps asking the same questions. How am I supposed to teach her? Are you really teaching her? Or are you inadvertently being careless? Amy, young and cute, was popular among the male employees. That led to suspicions that maybe my teaching was at fault. I'm doing just like I was taught when I was new. I even made a manual to make it easier to understand because it seemed difficult. No matter how much I teach, she keeps saying she doesn't understand. I carefully explain everything she doesn't understand, yet how can I make her remember? Well, there's a lot to learn at first, and maybe she's just confused. Julie is teaching her earnestly, so she'll be able to do it soon. I hope so. Sorry for complaining. Teaching is hard. It's okay to feel this way. Julie, you shouldn't push yourself too hard. I was stressed out by Amy's slow learning and vented to my husband to calm down. I thought the situation would resolve itself eventually, but Amy's attitude remained poor. The deadline is approaching, but do you think you'll finish? What? You've only done this much? If you have any questions, it would help if you asked them earlier. I thought I could do it. But it's impossible, so please, Julie, take care of the rest. If you hurry, you can still do it. If you have any questions, I'll teach you right away. But it would be faster if you finish it, right? I think it would be more efficient if you, Julie, took care of the rest. So please do. Hey! Don't give up and finish it. Oh no. Please don't be angry. I was desperately trying not to yell as I corrected Amy's attitude, when hey. What are you fighting about? You really have been harsh on Amy. That's not it. It's my fault. While claiming it was her fault, Amy teared up and acted like a victim. She was scared. Go and work on something else over there. I'll handle this properly. Thank you. Accusing someone like that, do you even want to teach? It's because Amy wasn't going to finish her work by the deadline. When I offered to help, she said she couldn't do it and pushed it onto me. Don't make excuses. And so, my reasonable explanations were met with an irrelevant lecture. How can you say I'm at fault? You're not even looking at my work attitude properly. Why am I being blamed then? If it's been pointed out several times, maybe there's a cause on your part, Julie? I was shocked to hear even my husband say something like that. Is that so? I barely managed to respond, and afterwards, I behaved as if nothing had happened. I regretted complaining too much at that time. But from that day, I started feeling somewhat cold towards him. Additionally, Amy asked Julie, "Is your husband that Nigel from the PR department?" Yes, but why? To be able to land someone handsome and economically powerful, how did you do it? I want a high-spec husband like yours too. It was just a coincidence that we hit it off. If you have time to talk about that, please finish your work first. Oh, but I'd rather hear about how you got close to Nigel. Amy kept asking about my husband. It's fine if you simply want to know for reference on dating, but it feels like you're trying to get close to my husband. But surely, even you, Amy, wouldn't go after someone else's husband, right? Despite feeling uneasy about Amy's comments, I didn't think she would actually go that far. However, I soon realized that my assumptions were naive. Today, I have to work overtime, so I'll eat dinner and come home. Overtime? That's rare. I just really need to finish something up early. Okay, take care. We haven't been able to go home together recently, and now you even need to work overtime. It feels like we haven't had a proper conversation in a while. I hope we can spend some quality time together soon. However, that day, my husband didn't come home at all. Coming home in the morning, without any contact. What could have happened? He always contacts me if he's going to be late. Could it be an accident? Anxious and unsettled, I went to the office earlier than usual and heard, "I'm glad." Thank you. That's just the right thing to do as a person. Leave the rest to me. I'll take care of it. Nigel. As I was heading to my department, I thought I heard voices from a room I passed by. It was Nigel and Amy talking intimately. Why are the two of them together? The worst suspicions crossed my mind, and I was shocked, but somewhere inside, I felt resigned due to Nigel's recent indifferent attitude towards me. It seemed like Amy was targeting Nigel, and lately, he's been defending her. If the two of them have been meeting secretly behind my back. And Amy's work attitude that day also felt unusually off. Good morning, you're early. Good morning to you too, Amy. You're quite motivated to come in so early. What? Oh, it's just a coincidence. Amy, usually meticulous about her appearance, was wearing the same clothes as yesterday, and her hair was not as well kept as usual. Sorry, I'm not feeling well today, can you do this for me? If it's too much, maybe you should go home early? It's not that bad. But I can't handle anything difficult, so please take care of it. Her attitude towards me was unusually condescending that day. She's never been respectful towards her elders, but today she seems particularly triumphant. Being with Nigel earlier, she probably thinks she's won him over and that puts her above me as a woman. Considering what happened this morning, I'm pretty sure about those two. Then, a message from Nigel, he wanted to talk. At this time, after work? He's been busy lately, but was he really cheating? Could his recent coldness be because he was having an affair with Amy? But Nigel is a decent man, I wouldn't think he'd do something like cheat. Maybe he was just looking out for a junior at work. But then, they wouldn't be so intimate, right? With these worries, I went to the agreed meeting place, and sure enough. You really weren't teaching Amy properly. To harass her like that, I didn't think you were that kind of person. I can't live with you anymore. Let's get a divorce. I'm sorry. It's not Julie's fault. I'm the one who's not good enough, it's my fault. But I was really scared. You just picked on her because she's young. You're nice to men, but you harass a younger woman of the same sex. That's really the worst. I'll protect Amy. Nigel! Nigel, defending Amy who was trembling exaggeratedly, glared at me. Watching this charade, my anxiety vanished. My feelings for him cooled off instantly. I don't want to see your face anymore. Please pack your things and leave immediately. Then, he presented a divorce paper already filled out. Surprisingly calm, I responded. All right, I understand. I don't want to be with someone who doesn't trust me either. It wouldn't work out anyway. Nigel was surprised by my easy agreement, while Amy smirked. Is that sour grapes? Did you think I'd reconsider if you played the victim? There are things you shouldn't say, even if you're shocked. The two of them were being affectionate and blaming me. Is that the end of the discussion? Then, I'll start preparing to move out. I'll file the divorce papers on my way out. Goodbye. Leaving them behind, I went home to pack my things. Who needs someone who cheats? Relying on someone much younger, getting all smitten. I don't even want to remember it, just enough belongings to live on. I'd like to claim alimony, but I have no proof. It's frustrating like a bad dream, but it can't be helped. At least I'm relieved we didn't have a joint account for salary deposits. That day, I stayed at a hotel, and the next day, I took a day off to move. Believing in a young girl he barely knows over me, if someone like that could be persuaded now, he would likely cheat again. So, this is for the best. The next day, even though I tried not to care, it still bothered me. Nigel used to be kind to me and listen to me, but people really can change, huh? But someone who would cheat, no thanks. I was on the verge of feeling down, but I managed to think positively. And the following day, Amy probably bragged about it proudly, saying whatever she wants because I wasn't there yesterday. I hate getting snide remarks based on her misinformation. My prediction was spot on, she deserved to be divorced. She was probably jealous of a younger woman. Who would want to be with such a woman? I think Julie must have been panicking. It's good that her husband made a calm decision. He really did handle it well, noticing and dealing with it. It seemed that Amy had spread rumors that the divorce was my fault. I was also ordered to transfer to a different department. That's the right response. Do your best. I can't work with Julie. After something like this, I'll probably be stuck as a regular employee forever. Being ridiculed during the transfer, I couldn't help but feel down. I've been working hard and earnestly all this time. Do I have to face these kinds of comments at the new place too? I haven't done anything terrible, why doesn't anyone believe me? I wasn't too bothered by the divorce itself, but it hurt that no one believed me. Doesn't anyone listen to me? Everyone just believes what Amy says. I can't believe this is happening after I've been so diligent. I was dreading what might come next, but I became Amy's trainer instead of Julie. Dealing with this kind of person must have been tough. You can focus on your work in the new department, so don't worry and be encouraged. It turned out Tammy was on my side. Tammy, thank you. Moved to tears by happiness, she further told me. I recommended the transfer. I think it's a place suitable for you, Julie, where you can work comfortably. Also, Amy tends to flirt with male colleagues, so she's disliked by other women. If a man makes snide remarks, don't worry about it. They're just being deceived by Amy. Really? Come to think of it, I've never seen Amy with other women. That girl thinks she's the prettiest, so she always belittles people's appearances. You don't have any flaws, so just keep working seriously as you have been. True to my colleague's words, I enjoyed my work at the new place, and my colleagues were supportive. She may look cute, but that's all there is to her, right? She flirts with every guy, and she's hostile towards women. She's a troublesome person. That's true. I've tried desperately to teach her, but she keeps saying she doesn't understand, and I end up being blamed. She just wanted to belittle you, Julie. That girl, she's nice to any guy, but especially to those who seem successful and wealthy. She really turns on the charm. Seeing that, even guys wonder what's up with her. I never thought my husband would believe Amy. She seems to be good at playing cute. Honestly, no offense, but your husband lacks discernment. Don't worry, here we don't trust someone just because they look cute. We know Julie isn't to blame. You shouldn't bother about someone like her. Let's not worry about those people and just keep doing our best. Yes. It's my first job here, and I'm going to give it my all. And I dove into my work and was soon selected for a new project team. Me, on the team? Are you sure? When people see the work you do, Julie, they understand why you were chosen. It's impressive. And I tackled my job with enthusiasm. The team members treated me normally, making it a very comfortable workplace. What a fun job! I'm glad Tammy recommended me. I found more fulfillment in my job than ever before, and I worked with even more zeal. I'm exhausted today. I'll rest as soon as I get home and prepare for tomorrow. Though I was just going home to sleep, my work life was very fulfilling. It's tough but fun. After dealing with Amy's training, it feels like it's been a while since I could really focus on work. So I stopped thinking about Nigel and Amy, and the divorce and cheating didn't bother me anymore. No one blames me here, and the workplace has good human relations, so I feel light. I can focus on my work even though it's busy. Before, the workload was lighter, but Amy's training was stressful. I was thriving in my work more than ever before. Because of this, I even came to think that getting divorced was for the best. And the project was a success, and I was recognized and promoted. Congratulations on your promotion. To do this well in unfamiliar work, maybe it's just the right job for you? You came up with so many ideas, it was amazing. Not just serious, but such creativity. The promotion was a natural result. It was thanks to everyone's help. It was very easy to work here. Things went so well that a year had passed since my divorce. And next month, I decided to resign for my future. It's finally next month that you retire. You've worked hard. Tammy, it was thanks to your recommendation to this department. Thank you so much. It's because you worked hard and seriously. It feels like just yesterday I was teaching you, and now you've grown so much. I'm really proud of you. It really was a year that flew by. I'm going to miss you when you retire. You'll do well even after retirement, Julie. Keep your spirits up. Thank you for the flowers. I really appreciate all your help. I'll get in touch once I'm settled. Let's keep in touch after I retire. Of course. My colleagues threw a grand farewell party for me before my retirement. I was so touched that I was nearly moved to tears. Colleagues from other departments came to celebrate, and I felt blessed to be surrounded by such wonderful people. Are you here? I heard, Julie. You're retiring, aren't you? That's when Amy, who was from a different department and hadn't taught me, deliberately came over. Yes, but what do you want? As I asked her what she wanted, Amy said with a triumphant look. Has it been a year and you still have feelings for Nigel? But Nigel says he likes me more, so it must be hard for you. But I'm much younger, so it's no wonder you were divorced. You're not needed here, old lady. It seemed she had come just to gloat. What? Nigel? I was bewildered by her sudden outburst, but my colleagues reacted differently. How funny. What a misunderstanding. She's deluded. You still thought that about your ex-husband? He's not on my mind anymore. And yet, you came all the way here. Exactly. Getting all smug, how ridiculous. What? What's so funny? If you're going to retire, you must be having a hard time working. Why are you laughing so hard? Amy was flustered by the unexpected response. In response, her coworkers began to talk about how good they were at it. Then I'll tell you. I don't care about the PR ace anymore. Because I'm getting married to someone even more high-spec. Getting divorced was probably a blessing, wasn't it? Thanks to you becoming the mistress, Julie grabbed some gooder. No way, that's a lie. Where did you find such a high-spec partner? He's not from this company, is he? Then who is it, tell me? Amy, having taken my husband and feeling smug about it, asked with her face red with anger. It's not a lie. The person is the new president of a client company. He fell in love with Julie at first sight and pursued her passionately. The president. How did you even meet someone like that? Amy looks quite chagrined, probably because she was looking down on me. Well, she's capable and responsible. Talented people do get to meet those in high positions. You never taught me anything like that. You run away because you're not good at it. Julie had her own work yet she was teaching you. It's more efficient to leave it to someone who's good at it. I do my work properly too. Pushing your work onto others is not called being capable. No matter how many times you're told, you try to push it onto others. That's why people who used to be lenient with you are now distant and think it's strange. What? That's not true. Amy, frustrated that things weren't going her way, responded emotionally, but she was countered with solid arguments. But you've only just met, haven't you? Isn't getting married so quickly too soon? You'll probably end up splitting soon anyway. A regular employee like Julie and a president? Your values must be too different. Aren't you just being played? Amy desperately tried to assert superiority, insisting that happiness wouldn't last. You were with Nigel for years, weren't you? And yet you were divorced and immediately met someone new. Aren't you just refusing to see reality? I'm just worried about you. She seemed determined to believe it wouldn't work out. However, my colleagues, more confident than I, responded before me. The length of the relationship doesn't matter. They are an ideal couple, truly compatible. Isn't he too serious and boring? It's impossible for such a person to be liked by a president. Do you think being beautiful would make him like you? Someone like that wouldn't be considered. Starting a relationship based on looks isn't just for fun. Nigel worked hard to become a president, he wouldn't do anything to harm his reputation. Also, there's no need to worry about differences in values. They talked it out early on and found they are quite similar. My colleagues had their say first, but I made sure to respond in kind. Their reactions seemed to concede the truth of the matter. I continued to speak to a shocked Amy. Julie worked hard and achieved results after that, which led to her promotion. As a result, she was invited to the inauguration party of the new president of a client company. Being confessed to at such an event, how wonderful is that? That day, I attended the party with nerves. I can't believe I'm at such a party. I'll make sure to enjoy it after greeting everyone. Influenced by the atmosphere of the venue, I was in a very cheerful mood. Then, I greeted the new president, Tim Anderson. Congratulations on your new position. Thank you. May I have a moment of your time later? Yes, that's fine. At the time, I thought it was about work, but thank you for your time. To be direct, it was love at first sight. I'd like to date you with the intention of marriage. What? Oh. I never imagined such a scene out of a girl's manga happening to me. That's a bit much, we've just met. As I hesitated and declined, then, let's start as friends with the possibility of dating. I want to get to know you. Surprised by his earnestness, I exchanged contact information for now. As we continued to communicate, one day, I asked why he was going this far. Why are you doing all this? At first, it was just intuition that I liked you. But as we continued to communicate, and you took me seriously, I grew to like you even more. Isn't that the natural thing to do? I know you're serious, Tim. I couldn't joke about such things. For me, it wasn't natural. In the past, people were interested in my family or parents, or they wanted to date me just to brag. Few people have treated me just for who I am. Hearing Tim speak, with all that had happened with Nigel and Amy, I found parts one could relate to. Subsequently, overwhelmed by Tim's continued passionate approach, we ended up getting married. How many times I thought Julie should just get married when she blushed being courted by the president. I never imagined I'd hear a real life story like something out of a girl's manga. It was so dramatic. Julie, a year older and a high-spec president with both emotional and financial stability, and someone who has a keen eye for people. Above all, someone who treasures Julie the most. I was worried because she was playing such a role despite her efforts, but I thought he was someone I could entrust her to. My colleagues boasted as if it was their own achievement, and I, blushing, boldly stated my happiness. I really met a good person. So I don't care about the divorce anymore. In fact, because I was divorced, I met Takashi, and now I think it was for the best. How come I'm cuter? Why? Seeking just cuteness, that's only good for dating. For marriage, it has to be with someone you can support each other with. With someone who can't do anything, you'd eventually wake up to reality. That's why I always tell you, do the work you're given seriously. Without responsibility, it won't lead to marriage. Amy seemed shocked, standing there stunned. Later, my colleagues told me that after I left the room, she couldn't move. She always looked down on you, so I just had to talk about how happy you are now. Just being cute won't cut it. I hope she learns that changing her attitude depending on the person is never okay. Now, since her popularity among men has dropped, she wanted to feel superior by putting Julie down, but she got served. Reflecting on the initial stealing incident, I'm happy now that I've met such good people. After that, I resigned and got married. Once the moving to our new home settled down, I planned to work at a new workplace. What a joy to be able to see you every day. Oh, stop exaggerating. Life with my husband involves supporting each other and living fulfilling days. I'm so happy to have met you and married. Thank you for choosing me. Likewise. We're enjoying a happy married life, staying in touch with former colleagues. That's where I heard about the current situation of Amy and Nigel. Since I took over as the trainer, she wasn't really serious about work. But then, this new recruit came along. She's not only cute but also excellent at her job. She's kind of an upgraded version of Amy. Now the men prefer the new girl. Amy is exposed for having character issues, so she's working hard now. Still, she's losing to the newbie. It seems she was dating Nigel. They ended up fighting and breaking up. It turns out Julie did nothing wrong. I was completely fooled. Because of that, I ended up divorcing. It's my fault for not believing in Julie. I don't even want to see her face, so stop following me around. But you said you loved me. I'm the better woman. Julie doesn't lie or try to deceive like you. How could I marry someone like that? I thought you were trying hard despite being unfamiliar, but to find out you're this kind of person. This has spread, and now she's completely ignored. She's working uncomfortably. Does it seem like she's reflecting properly? I can't say for sure yet, but if she has reflected, I intend to help her. Don't worry about it, and enjoy your newlywed life. While what Amy did is unforgivable, I was able to find happiness thanks to the help of those around me. I hope Amy reflects on her actions and finds her way back.